Welcome to Divining the Oracle. This reading is all about your love life in 2025. I invite you to pick from a heart with an arrow through it, the tree of life, and the ocean. Timestamps are in the description, and don't forget to subscribe if these messages resonate with you. If you picked the heart with the arrow, this is your reading. We're looking at your love life in 2025. The first thing that I'm tuning into is this sense of expansion around your heart and your capacity to love. And I'm seeing symbolically a beach, and I feel like this beach is representing having found yourself in a really good place. I feel like you're in a good place right now, and that means that you've been through a lot in the past, but it's like you've processed all of those experiences and you're ready for something to land for you at the right time this year. I feel like you want something to happen in your love life. I feel like you're not in a rush, but you're being very patient. And I'm just getting the message that for those of you who may already be in a relationship, it may be that you're wanting the next step in commitment, or it may be that you're wanting something specific in relationship to emerge this year. But for a lot of you listening to this, I feel like you are opening up to the possibility of a new relationship. And it feels like you've spent a lot of time going through challenging experiences. I don't know whether some of you may have moved if not really recently, in the last 2 to 3 years, made a big life move. And it does feel like you might have moved to another country or another location, maybe from the city to the countryside or something like that. It just feels like there's been a really big shift in your life in the last 2 to 3 years. And it feels like it's like you've landed on your feet, you know who you are, and you're really prepared and open and ready for something, and very much ready for the good experiences in life. Ready for the good times is the phrase that's coming through. I feel like you're unshakable at this moment in time. I know that this is a love reading and there's a lot coming through about you rather than another person, but I feel like Spirit is sharing the message in this way because Spirit's saying that you are so clear about what you want and who you are and the kinds of experiences you want to have that nothing can shake you. If you don't find something that feels good to you, you are so willing to just let it, pass by, let that person continue on their path. There is no sense of neediness within you. And it just feels like a really, really positive feeling, a really positive vibe for those of you who picked the heart with the arrow. And I feel like, for the majority of people, I'm feeling like 80% of people listening to this will find a really meaningful connection this year, or if you are someone who's wanting to deepen your current relationship and go to the next step. I feel like for those of you who are in a relationship listening to this, there could be a few test points, in terms of, because your energy is so clear and so aligned, it feels like there may, if you're with someone who wants to maybe push your boundaries a little, or kind of wants to say like, actually, I want to do this, I don't want that yet. It's almost like people might try, not deliberately, but people might almost ruffle your feathers a little bit because you're so sure about who you are and what you want, and they might be trying to behave in ways that have worked in the past, and that's no longer going to work. So I can see some very just minor experiences like that, nothing that's going to ruffle your feathers because you're unflappable. But there might be things that come up where it takes a while for the relationship to up level and to adjust to where you are. I hope that makes sense. So it just might be that people try old things with you, like old ways of trying to encourage you to do X, Y, or Z, and you're no longer interested. And it just might be an adjustment where they go through a process of realizing that actually things need to shift, things need to change. But overall, there's this, for whoever is listening to this, there's just this sense of deep stability this year within yourself and therefore in your romantic life. and it feels like a really, really positive year. I feel like I can't go too specific because I feel like there are many different kinds of situations listening to this. But overall, it's just such a clear, grounded year, and I feel like, it's time to really appreciate yourself and just appreciate how much you've done for yourself, because it feels like like a lot has been leading up to this moment. So I hope that this supports you today. Let me know in the comments, and do subscribe for more readings. If you picked the Tree of Life, this is your reading. We're looking at your love life in 2025. I do apologise if I sound slightly nasally. I'm just getting over a cold. So I'm just going to tune into your energy here and see what's coming through for you. I feel like you are discovering new parts of yourself this year. And it's very interesting. This is, obviously, it's a love reading. But the thing that's coming through immediately is really about your connection to all other people that you meet, and this relates to love as well. And I'm feeling that you're going to surprise yourself by making connections this year that you would not have been likely to make in the past. It feels like you're going to be open to new personalities, people who, and it's like there's more of a sense of security within yourself. There is a similarity here with the first reading, so if you're drawn to the heart, that reading might also resonate for you. But I'm definitely getting a sense of just like a real enjoyment in interacting with others. So it feels like for this reading, not all of you are single, but it feels like the majority of you listening to this are single, or maybe dating, or not seriously involved with someone. And it's like you're just really surprising yourself with who you're enjoying spending time with. I can see for some of you in this reading, you will be going on dates with, different people, and just not being too serious about anything, just really enjoying the experience. And it feels like, I want to say this, it might sound a bit strange, but I want to say that it's almost like for the first time in your life, you're just opening your eyes to how different everyone is in terms of their personality and how they present and people's interests. And it's like instead of feeling I feel like in the past, I'm getting this feeling around my heart as if like when you were around someone, you felt really observed and like you were under the spotlight and quite uncomfortable. And I'm feeling this year, 2025, is all about you not kind of letting go of that feeling. Like you don't feel like that anymore. And so you're just more focused on whoever is in front of you and just noticing what life is like for them. And finding this really interesting. I do feel like after a couple of months, I would say like 3 to 4 months of noticing this change, things will start to settle down a bit more. I don't know whether some of you listening to this have also maybe in a situation where you're looking for new friendship groups, as well as romance. Because I feel like after a couple of months of exploration, you will start to feel a bit more at home and grounded in your relationships of all kinds. So it could be if you've made a big move recently, you might start to make friendship groups or friends, as well as romantic interest. And I feel also, as I'm saying this, that it could be for some of you that you meet a romantic interest through a friendship group or through a friend. It may be something that happens not through trying to make it happen or being on the dating apps. It could be that it just kind of happens naturally. I'm seeing that as something that's quite likely, not necessary, like never hold on to something too tightly, but I feel like it's quite likely for quite a lot of you listening to this. Also, I'm just getting the sense of a need to process almost a feeling of grief around letting go of a part of yourself that you used to really resonate with. It may be this year that you realize that you are more extroverted, perhaps, than you have felt in the past. And it almost feels like you need to treasure the person you used to be. Almost like hold on to that person and just say to them, to that part of yourself, like I really loved you, I love who you were, but I do feel like I am changing as a person. It feels like there's quite a big shift. And this might be something that you notice from time to time. And there's almost like a sense of grief because it's about kind of letting go and moving on and noticing different parts of yourself starting to emerge. So I feel like this is it's like a very light year. It feels like there's lightness, there's ease, there's growth and expansion. It feels like you're not being particularly serious this year about your love life. Even if you start off at the beginning of the year feeling like you're going to approach things in a serious and determined way, it feels like the energy shifts and it becomes a lot lighter and a lot easier. And I feel like it's a time to really enjoy things because it doesn't feel like a time when you have to work hard to make things happen. It just feels like a time when things happen for you. So I really hope that this message resonates. Do check out the other readings on the channel and subscribe for more readings as well. For those of you who chose the ocean, we are looking at your love life in 2025. So I'm going to tune into this image and we'll see what comes through for you. So immediately as I'm tuning in, I'm actually getting the sensation of being on a boat and floating on a really gentle ocean. And this feels like a year where things come to you in unexpected ways and with quite a lot of ease, but there's definitely a sense of the unexpected in a very positive way. And it could be that for some of you, you find, and I don't want to assume that you're all single listening to this, it can be for people who are involved, already have a relationship, but I feel like a lot of you listening to this are single, and it feels like someone appears to you who perhaps you wouldn't have imagined. It could be someone that you already know, that comes up as a surprise. It could be an acquaintance, someone you don't know very well, but it just feels like there's something kind of unexpected and it happens very easily and naturally and quickly. And I'm getting this image in my head of you being on a boat somewhere, and it's like someone who has something to do with the boat. For some reason, it's like they approach you and you never would have expected this, but they seem to be like the right partner. And I'm not sure why that image is coming through symbolically, but it's just like you're kind of minding your own business, you're just enjoying yourself, and perhaps they don't, they're not your type, or they don't kind of look like the kind of person you would typically find yourself attracted to, but there's something about it that just makes sense and it just feels right. You're getting this energy around you of having been alone for quite some time, and this can be a feeling as much as a reality. So it could literally be about solitude, it could be about living somewhere quite remote or having been somewhere quite remote, but it can also mean, in a general reading, for those of you who that doesn't resonate with, it can be the feeling of just feeling alone even if you are surrounded by people. And I'm getting like a feeling of having too much alone time, or too much time for your thoughts, too much rumination. And it feels like, when I'm getting this image of you being on a boat, which doesn't literally mean that you will do that, but it's sort of like you've decided to give yourself something, to give yourself a break. Because I'm seeing you lying on a boat in the sunshine, and it's like there's warmth, like the world is warming up, you're generating more warmth and joy for yourself, and then this person comes in and is kind of part of that in some way. So it's about making gentle changes as well. Like there's something in this whole story about you finding someone where it's about kind of giving yourself a break and honestly developing more of a sense of self-love through action towards yourself. And it's almost, I feel like Spirit's trying to say in this reading that if you're not being kind and loving towards yourself, please try to change that. And I'm not sure what it is, because I'm getting a sense of heavy responsibility and weight. I don't know whether you've been through something fairly recently that's just been really, really tough, or whether you're not in the best situation one way or another in your life right now. I feel like Spirit's saying, please try to do something just really wonderful and loving towards yourself, even if that's like, taking a trip to a spa, getting a massage, or something bigger like going on a vacation. But it's almost like, once you start giving to yourself, I feel like this person will come through to you. And I'm just getting, for a couple of people listening to this, if you're in a relationship already, it's about maybe the dynamics shifting and becoming easier. And I'm also getting a message for some of you listening to this that you could be in a long distance relationship, but it's almost like things need to change and become easier. And there's obviously recognition from spirit about this. And it's like, if you feel like your life's on hold or you're waiting for something, please give to yourself. Please do things for yourself that really give you a sense of peace, of joy, or whatever it is that you enjoy. Please start giving more to yourself, because I feel like with that energy, that shift in energy, the situation in some way will change and become more positive. So I really hope that this reading makes sense to you. Use your own intuition to interpret these general messages, and do subscribe for more readings.